Throughout history, countless people have vanished without a single clue left behind. No warning, no trace, no explanation. One moment, they are going about their lives, and the next, they are gone. For years, their families search, their stories become mysteries, and their disappearances leave behind more questions than answers. Today, we uncover the stories of 4 cases of people who disappeared without a trace. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers. In December 1900, a supply ship named Hesperus approached the lighthouse on Oilen Moor, one of the isolated Flannan Isles in Scotland. But something was wrong. As the ship neared, the crew expected to see the 3 lighthouse keepers waiting for them, just as they had done during previous deliveries. But this time, the lighthouse stood dark, abandoned, no sign of life. The ship's captain, puzzled, sounded the horn. No response. A signal flare was fired into the sky. Nothing. With an uneasy feeling settling over them, a relief keeper, Joseph Moore, was sent ashore. He climbed the steep rocky cliffs toward the lighthouse. The lighthouse was dark, meaning no one had been tending the light. The front door was locked from the inside. Half-eaten food was still on the table, as if they had left suddenly. The clocks had stopped at an unknown hour. The 3 lighthouse keepers, James Duquette, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, were gone. The only clue was the lighthouse logbook, which contained disturbing entries. December 12th, 1900. Thomas Marshall wrote about a powerful storm that had struck the island. He noted that Duquette had become strangely quiet and withdrawn, while MacArthur, a hardened sailor, was crying. December 13th. The storm raged on. The men continued praying for their lives. December 14th. The final entry was brief, haunting. The storm has ended. The sea is calm. God is over all. But here's the terrifying part. There was no recorded storm near the Flannan Isles on those days. Some theories believe the men were swept away by a rogue wave while securing equipment outside. Others suggest one of them snapped, killed the others, and threw himself into the sea. But some say they were taken by something else, something that lurked beyond the edge of human understanding. A storm that didn't exist, a meal left untouched, and 3 men who disappeared without a single trace. Their bodies were never found. The mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers remains unsolved. The Springfield 3. This case happened in Springfield, Missouri, in 1992. Graduation night is a time of celebration, but for 2 young women and a mother, that night became their last. On the night of June 6, 1992, friends Susie Streeter and Stacy McCall had just graduated high school. After a night of parties, they decided to stay at Susie's house with her mother, Cheryl Levitt. The next morning, they were gone. These were the strange clues left behind. Their cars were still in the driveway. Their purses, keys, and money were untouched inside the house. The TV was left on static, as if someone had turned it off suddenly. A broken lamp hinted at a struggle, and a strange voicemail left on the answering machine were the only signs of anything unusual. But the police accidentally erased the message before it could be analyzed. No one heard them scream. No one saw them leave. And 30 years later, the mystery remains unsolved. Some theories believe the women were victims of a planned abduction, taken one by one. Others suspect a serial killer was involved, but no solid evidence has ever surfaced. A few claim they were trafficked, taken without a trace, leaving no clues behind. Despite multiple leads and a $42,000 reward, the Springfield 3 were never found. The Sodder Children. This happened in West Virginia. Christmas Eve, 1945, a fire, a family tragedy, and a mystery that endures. On Christmas Eve, the Sodder family home caught fire. Parents George and Jenny Sodder escaped, along with 4 of their children, but 5 of their children never made it out. At least, that's what everyone believed. There are some strange clues. No human remains were found in the ashes. A mysterious phone call happened before the fire. A woman claimed to have seen the missing children years later. After the fire, The family erected a billboard along State Route 16, displaying photos of the 5 missing children and promising a reward for any leads that might help solve the mystery. Years later, the Sodders received a letter in the mail with no return address, postmarked from the Central City, Kentucky. Inside was a photograph of a man who appeared to be around 30 years old, bearing a striking resemblance to Lewis, who would have been about that age if he were still alive. On the back was written, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie. Lil boys, A90132 or 35. The Sodders hired private investigators, but before they could uncover the truth, the detective vanished as well. The sign stayed up until shortly after Jenny Sodder passed away in 1989. To this day, no one knows what really happened to the Sodder children. Lars Mittank. Lars Mittank was a 28-year-old German tourist vacationing in Bulgaria with friends in 2014. The trip was going well, until one seemingly minor event changed everything. One night, Lars got into a brief argument over football with other tourists. A small scuffle broke out, and Lars suffered a blow to the head, causing a ruptured eardrum. Doctors told him he couldn't fly home immediately, as the air pressure might damage his ear further. His friends had to leave, so Lars stayed behind alone, and that's when things got bizarre. He called his mother, whispering that he was being followed. He switched hotels, claiming that he didn't feel safe. He stopped eating, convinced someone was trying to poison him. After that, on July 8, 2014, Lars arrived at the Varna airport to finally fly home. At first, he seemed calm, but then, suddenly, he panicked. In the surveillance footage, Lars is seen talking to an airport doctor when, out of nowhere, his eyes widened in terror. Without warning, he runs out of the airport terminal. He sprints across the parking lot, jumps over a fence, and disappears into the surrounding wilderness. That was the last time anyone ever saw Lars Mittank. Despite searches, no body was ever found, no phone, no belongings. Some theories believe he suffered a psychotic episode caused by his head injury. Others think he was truly being followed and fled in desperation. Some even suggest he was abducted after running into the woods. But the truth, no one knows. To this day, his fate remains unknown. 4 cases, 4 mysteries, and no answers. What do you think happened to them? Let me know in the comments.